Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Overwatch Intel Extreme Masters Gyeonggi Invitational here at the Goyang Stadium. It is our second quarter final so far of the event. Didn't have anything before that. We jumped straight into the stadium to hit some games up. I'm here, of course, with Achilles, and we've seen some very interesting Overwatch so far. LW Red are looking sharp, but Kongdoo Panthera look to be a little bit lacking direction.
Yeah, they seem like they're suffering the same jitters that they might have had back during the Apex series here in Korea. So definitely a really poor showing for them so far. And they're going to have to turn things around if they want to stick in this tournament. We heard from Evermore earlier on. He said that he was going to show that Kongdoo Panthera can beat champions, really show why he's the #1 ranked player in the world. But so far, we have not seen that from them. And now it's do or die time as we get ready to move on to Ilios. They need to win this map if they want to stick in this tournament. Otherwise, LW Red can advance and play Rogue tomorrow.
And that will be a game to behold as well. The new Rogue team, predominantly French lineup, plus Skip Jacques in the mix, of course, on that. Ryan Hart, but let's get back to the game that is Ilios going to be the next map. And I teased before the break that this would probably be a map where, you know, some of the weaknesses that Kongdoo Panthera have now without Bishop are harder to exacerbate. This is a situation where you can just be a little bit aggressive and go for fights and hope that at least your shot calling in terms of your target calling is good, even if your overall strategy approach is not.
Yeah, I mean, directing 6 people all at once, or well, 5 in yourself, I guess, is a bit more difficult than having, you know, 6 individually really good mechanically skilled players that know how to target select. So there's much less pressure on Radio if he is in fact the one doing the shot calling. But we'll have to see if he's able to keep himself alive, because it's been a bit of a rough patch for him on that Lucio. But let's go ahead and get ready to load up onto our third and potentially final map. It's Ilios.
You said it right, Achilles. It could be our third and final map here in this series. Of course, it is a best-of-5 series, but this will be a best-of-3 control point map. The same as what you would see at the OG and Apex, for example. So, again, a little bit more punishing if you get behind early. We saw that Misfits had a lot of trouble against Lunatic High. They kept losing the first fight, and by the time they flipped the point back, Achilles, it was 99-0 against them. So we need to see, you know, if Kongdoo Panthera want to break back, they need to start off strong straight out of the gates.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to win that first team fight. It's going to be really crucial for them, something that we saw Misfits unable to do against Lunatic High. So Kongdoo need to play a little bit better than that as we come in onto Well to kick things off. As we can see, Luna coming in on that Zenyatta yet again. Really been liking this one today.
Yeah, no Ana here as well. Interesting to see that one, but of course you can bust down those big tanks. But the thing is, Kongdoo Panthera, they've got a D.Va in the mix, but no Roadhog here. We'll see how that makes a difference. Sabiolby already got himself to the back line here. A lot of damage on towards Butcher, keeping him honest and forcing him back with the rest of his team. It's a trade out though. Butcher and Luna both going down, but that's it. Now we see LW Red, with the help of Sabiolby, getting to the back line a couple of picks, but they've lost Gambler and Meko as well.
Yeah, and Kongdoo Panthera already really losing this fight. 4 members going down, just the 2, I believe, of Luxury Watch Red. Rascal is able to answer one on the Sabiolby in that Tracer 1v1. Finally gets one back, but points already been captured by LW Red. It's going to start ticking up for them. Janice is low. Shield's almost broken, so they have to be careful and try to maintain their spot here on the point.
Now, Rascal has a pulse bomb ready to go. Neither team actually has the tank to deal with the Tracer right now. There's no hooks or McCrees or flashes, so we actually see the Tracers probably 1v1 quite a few times throughout this game. Nanahana already pushing. He's flanking himself on that main. Wall's going to come up. He wanted to Blizzard, but he's put to sleep straight away.
Yeah, he's still alive though, hasn't been taken out, so he might yet be able to throw it down. And meanwhile, LW Red, they're just shredding through Kongdoo Panthera, finding another 3 members, both healers yet again, going down. They'll tack on Waka Waka to the end of that. And LW Red, they're going to hold firm on the point. 3 ultimates available, make that almost 4, as Meko is now at 98%. With their Lucio just 10% behind him. So this is going to be a pretty easy hold for LW Red. Kongdoo, they have a long way to go.
Yeah, this is just going to be a Blizzard. Nanahana's going to wall off the entrance, and Blizzard's going to come out here as well. The entirety of Kongdoo is split here. Blizzard's going to get a lot of coverage. Radio forced away, but now he's on his own here. He can't even get back over towards the rest of his team, and the transcendence from Luna here, keeping LW Red topped up. Sabiolbe still looking again for Butcher, just forcing them back with his very presence, because that Reinhardt is going to have to keep moving his shield left, right, and center to cover the damage from the Pulse pistols.
Yeah, and Waka Waka, you see, he knows it's futile. Going to go ahead, jump off the map, get that reset back into base as quickly as possible. And LW Red, they don't have to burn a whole lot for that one. Still have 2 ultimates available, including that self-destruct. And that could be a really massive one for them to hold on to this point.
Rascal drops down. Pulse bomb straight away there, gets a lot of damage on. Will it be recovered? That's the big question here. We have a sound barrier. They're missing Janus already, LW Red. No Reinhardt so far, and they're trying to survive without him. Evermore is traded out by Sabiolbe, and Rascal's trying to find this Zenyatta in the backline. It's a very good matchup for the Tracer play here, but Rascal's having a little bit of trouble. In fact, we actually see Luna escape with the rest of his team and takes him down. He wins the 1v1. Sort of.
Yeah, Gambler went back in there, healing up Luna, making sure he didn't go down in that Sabiolbe. He doesn't have the pulse pump, but he's still not afraid to get right up in the face of this Reinhardt. You can see 99%, they're in overtime. Kongdoo Panthera, they have to stick in, but a huge Earth Shatter coming through from Janus, locking them up. But now the members are still trying to push through. Luna is still here, firing off those balls, just trying to chunk out through the Discord Orb and help his team win this one. Another Transcendence to just keep everybody topped up, and it looks like LW Red, they might be able to win this one, but Rascal, the Discord Orb straight into the headshot from Sabiolbe. He goes down, and LW Red, they're going to go ahead and take this first point.
So I mentioned earlier on in the piece, Ikilios, that there's not as much strategy required on a map like Control if you're going to be a brawling team. But here's the problem. There are 2 Tracers on the map, and one of them is better than the other. Sabiolbe's having a bigger impact right now than Rascal is, and there's nothing on the side of Kongdoo Panthera to deal with that. Sometimes you've got to accept your Tracer is not as good as the enemies, and then you need to, instead of trying to play the mirror match and fight fire with fire, you just need to counter it. I want to see a Roadhog, even a McCree on a map like Well would have been okay. But just a Roadhog here, something to address the threat. The Sabiolbe, he's been running riot this whole series so far in this Tracer, and there hasn't been an answer from Kongdoo Panthera yet.
Yeah. Need to just swallow the pride, not try to win that mirror matchup. So far, just haven't seen that one come through Kongdoo, but now, here we go, on to Ruins. And they have that strong start that they've been lacking this entire series.
Well, still nothing to deal with Sabiolbe at this stage from Kongdoo Panthera, so still backing themselves. I mean, this is it. They have to win this round. It's a best of 3 here. Both teams already setting up on the right side here for a bit of a fight. There's a lot of shields, a bit of healing for Nanahana there as well. Already, Rascal's gotten to the back line, and it looks like he's responsible now for dealing with that threat. At least there's something on LW Red to deal with a Tracer, and so far, a lot of pressure on towards Rascal. He's going to back away with those blink charges.
Yeah, he's already used the recall, now going low. Nanahana trying to hunt him down. He's not able to find it yet. But LW Red, they're going to go ahead and get the first capture in on the point yet again. This is exactly what we saw in Game 1.
And Sabiolbe already has himself a pulse bomb ready to go, as does Rascal. Rascal with 2 quick kills there. He finds both supports. Now we get to do his job. Nice pulse bomb on towards Janus. Does get cut down by Nanahana, but a good little run for him, getting 3 kills. But most importantly, finding both supports first. That's what we need to see from Rascal if his team are going to win the long game, the drawn-out, sustained game here. Lacking those healers for LW Red makes it impossible to hold this point.
That looked like a completely lucky pulse bomb. Got the stick onto Janus as he was charging and caught 2 other members of LW Red up in that. And now Kongdoo Panthera, that allows him to push in and finally get a capture on a point.
So far, 14 to 22% now. You can see more backing away. There was a pulse bomb used to not much avail there. It was healed through, and now it's going to be a sound barrier on the side of Kongdoo Panthera. This is their window. This is their power play. They're going to go in for the fight, but now it's expired. Now they need to be a little bit more careful and pernicious about who they choose to pick out of this fight. Rascal's not far away from another pulse bomb. That's a Transcendence coming into the mix here for LW Red, but they've already lost Janus.
And Janus going down. That's going to be 2 kills coming in for Evermore, though. Looking really good for Kongdoo Panthera with him onto this Zarya. He's really making it work. Luna gonna fall, make that a triple kill. He is just absolutely shredding through the members of LW Red. And they're now struggling, fighting from the back foot, trying to make their way into the point. Now, Kongdoo Panthera, they will have none of that.
Sabiolbe switches off the Tracer, so he's actually the first Tracer to give up and say, you know what, I'm just going to counter you out. Now, he can hook Rascal in and then actually make his impact felt elsewhere, dealing with Reinhardt's, dealing with Zaryas. So this is a wise, and it's a clever decision by LW Red just to say, no, okay, no more Tracer. Now Rascal's starting to get going. Let's just shut him down.
Yeah. Trying to take him out. He does have another pulse bomb waiting. Evermore as well. There it is, the Graviton Surge becoming available. He's going to go down immediately. The pulse bomb stacked on top of it, but it's not going to find a whole lot. Luna, the first one to go down. Meanwhile, Sabiolbe is able to take out Radio. Butcher going to fall as well, but they get Gambler in a trade, and Luffy goes down. The healers of Kongdoo Panthera are gone, but LW Red still struggling to make their way onto this point.
Waka Waka getting a quick couple kills there as well, and that's what's keeping Kongdoo going in this fight. They still hold the point. They're still ticking up a percent, and Rascal's still standing back. He's giving a lot of respect to Sabiobi, but getting a lot of damage done. He needs to avoid the hook, but so far, bit of a recall out of that damage, rewinds his way through. Pulse Bomb on the way, doesn't catch anything with that, but the point is still for Kongdoo Panthera. 95%, finally the hook comes in, and LW might be able to stabilize here.
They have to be careful. Meko still has that self-destruct now back up. Could use that to try to zone out Panthera. Doesn't want to throw it there as he goes up. And looks like that will be LW Red recapping, but they have a long way to go. 99% done for Kongdoo Panthera. They just need a retake and to push LW Red off, and they will finally have a map.
This is hard to retake a point with a Tracer if you're going up against a Roadhog. I'd like the Evermore switched as well. So now both teams have Roadhog. There's hooks available. Nanohana especially needs to be very careful. Make sure, look at that, look at how safe he wants to be, right? Always looking for a vantage point, because he knows if Evermore sends a hook his way, he's done, he's dusted.
Yeah, Rascal going around the backside, trying to build up for another Pulse Bomb. We'll see if he's able to get one. Meko's still just going to be holding onto this Nano Boost coming through now. Onto Janus. Can they get the poop off? Not going to find it. Hook comes through as they do grab up Nanohana, but he's still alive. Evermore is unable to find the kill. Sleep Dart going through onto Meko, but he's not going to be too punished for that. Still gets clipped by the Earth Shatter, but overall, LW Red still able to hold.
Yeah, Rascal went down early in that fight, and now the self-destruct, not going to do much for Meko. He should be able to resuit up right now, and he does. He's back in the mech. Sabiobi finds Waka Waka now. Nanohana's got a great position, and he's going to be able to let go in a sec with the Tac Visor. There's no Diva on the side of Kongdoo Panthera. There's not much they can do to stop this damage from coming in.
Yeah, Butcher's going low. They don't have an ultimate from Radio either to really mitigate it. And look at that, LW Red just stomping all over Kongdoo Panthera, running right through them. Rascal going to be one of the only ones left alive, just sitting back in the corner with his Pulse Bomb, saying, I really wish I had somewhere to put this. But LW Red, they're going to be looking to keep them off the point.
Overtime.
Rascal charging in, not going to get clipped by those Helix rockets. He will be alive, but overtime starting to tick down. Kongdoo, they need to get inside. They finally able to tag back in with Rascal.
Janus doesn't get the Earth Shatter, but Butcher's knocked to the ground anyway. Brilliant Sleep Dart coming out just as he got Nano boosted. Now Waka Waka going to be looking in the backline for Nanohana. Can't find him, can't even find Luna, but he's taken down by Butcher nonetheless. Kongdoo now in a 5v6 situation. Waka Waka taking down Janus. They could be able to retake this point now as Butcher stands tall. Evermore finds Gambler, and it's looking good for Kongdoo Panthera in overtime.
They've got fourth, they got the suit. Meko's going to fall safe. Yobi and Luna coming back up. They're going to swap over to the Sombra to try to sprint, but it doesn't matter. It's been too long. Actually, no, Yobi, he does make it, has to recall. Jumps back in, but he's the only one there. He's going to die, and Kongdoo Panthera finally put a map on the board, making it 1-1.
Staying alive, at least for the time being, is Kongdoo Panthera. A very, very close map, though. You saw them get out to a flying start. And Rascal, I said beforehand, he was not the more effective Tracer on the map. He struggled a little bit. But then we saw Sabiobi was forced or decided to, either way, to switch over towards a Roadhog. And of course, with a 76 on your team, Roadhog has a big impact. And there's some reasons why I like seeing him instead of Zarya if you're going to have Diva on your team. Diva can't stop a hook with Defense Matrix, right? So what we saw was Sabiobi land a hook onto Waka Waka, get him desuited, and then Nanohana managed to just get so much damage with his Tac Visor with the absence of that Diva. Still important to be able to deal with that, but now we're actually going to see LW Red go for the main here for Nanohana. This is very, very interesting. You can do a lot with a wall over on that lighthouse point here.
Yeah, we'll see. Going to be charging right around the right side for LW Red. Going to meet him right in the middle. Rascal going to try to find his way into the back line, getting some shots in onto Janus behind that shield, and ooh, he found himself a Zenyatta and a Lucio. If he can get on top of him, he might be able to do some real work.
And look at this, look what Nanohana can do with this. So much control over short spaces, which is exactly what this map entails. We'll see if Nanohana can stay alive for the time being, but Rascal's gotten to the back lines. He's dealt with Luna. LW Red don't have anything to do with the Tracer per se at the moment. Obviously, with the lacking the Roadhog, that's the risk they take, but now they need to make it happen. Waka Waka drops to Janus, and now Nanohana pushes on the point with a bit of a wall being put up. He's trying to freeze Butcher, but he's forced into the ice block.
Yeah, it's going to just try to buy time, make sure Kongdoo Panthera can't get this first cap. Rascal, though, has that Pulse Bomb ready to go, and that's going to be several members of LW Red going down 3. Now, we have to make that 4. Sabiobi is going to almost fall. There it is. Finally gets the kill. Radio taking him out. Kongdoo Panthera for the first time. They're going to get that first point cap.
Really nicely done by Radio there on that point. Making very, very good use of his right clicks, or the boops as they are colloquially known. A great point, of course, to showcase what a Lucio can do with it being so close to the edge of the ledge. Now, again, Luna has to be careful because it's very, very easy for Rascal to sneak behind enemy lines undetected with the way this map works and get on towards that very, very squishy Zenyatta. But We do see an attempt here from Waka Waka to deny high ground, get out there and push people off. Sound barrier for Kongdoo Panthera as the fight begins.
Yeah, so Sabiobi not going to be able to find much damage, but might be able to take up for that pulse bomb. Waka Waka just trying to track him as best as he can to get rid of that really squishy Tracer. Speaking of squishy,
there it is.
Evermore, he finds the hook, he takes him out with one shot. And now Gambler, the only one left inside the point with Janice. He's going to fall, and that is going to be Kongdoo holding strong on this point, 45% to 0 so far. LW Red, they got to start struggling right here.
And it looks as if for LW Red, it's either Tracer or Roadhog and not both, because Sabiobi, we've seen him play both of those so far in this map. Evermore, though, and Rascal can play them respectively now and give them both the threat of a Tracer, getting on towards your Zenyatta, and having a hook to deny flankers. So LW Red sort of don't have the latter. They don't have the hook to deny flankers. So Sabiobi has to do so much more than Rascal to make this a worthwhile setup compositionally.
Yeah, see 4 ultimates there for LW Red. They're going to go ahead and pop that sound barrier. Still have the Transcendence in their back pocket as well. See what work they can get done. Evermore gets pinned and he gets taken out as Meko and Sabiobi just burn right through him. LW have found their way onto the point. Transcendence coming through, keeping them alive so far. It's just been Evermore to go down in this fight. Shots coming out. Sabiobi just trying to take out Luffy. Is finally able to do so, but the self-destruct is there from Waka Waka. Doesn't get a single person, though, as he gets taken down by Nanohana. And LW Red, they'll take the point.
In all honesty, the only time I'm happy to see a May for LW Red here than a Roadhog is when there's a Blizzard available. I think you can do a lot more to deny or to keep your backline safe with a Roadhog, but you saw Nanohana there. Had so much control over the point. You literally can't stand on the point if the enemy has a Blizzard ticking, and off the back of that, they managed to clean up the fight. And even better, they have an Earthshatter and a Self-Destruct still in the bank.
Yeah, still holding on to a couple things, but they have Butchers to worry about as well. Evermore pushing forward, trying to get that hit.
Brilliant!
The Earthshatter coming through into the charge, into the Self-Destruct, and Meko, he's going to pick up 2 for his troubles. Rascal is able to finish off Gambler on the backside, but LW Red looks like they still might be winning this fight quite handedly. Charge not going to connect here from Butcher, and he falls down. Rascal doing his damnedest to stay alive, gets a nice pulse bomb to take out Janice, but it's not enough. Sabiobi is there to finish him off, and LW Red, they will hold on to this point for a bit longer.
Yeah, 1v3, I wonder why we saw the pulse bomb come out there from Rascal. You could have really held it to actually win a fight, whereas all you did there was sort of stagger or spawn slightly, but Janice is going to be back on the point anyway. But we're going to be jumping in. Sabiobi has himself a pulse bomb, but it's a sound barrier. He needs to wait this one out before he can stick that one down to ensure he gets the damage. Luna, though, going to get the Transcendence going. Butcher gets away, though, from the pulse bomb. He's cut down eventually. Sabiobi now is running right. He's very, very hard to catch here. Rascal's trying to match him or emulate him on the other side, but he gets taken down by Gambler.
Yeah, Gambler doesn't fall. Rascal unable to find that kill. Meanwhile, Radio taking quite low, so has to back off, just sticking around with Evermore. You can see that flash coming through, trying to get them that health boost, making sure that these few members do stick, but now 84% across the board. LW Red finally starting to stretch into the lead. And if they can close this out right here, they will be moving on.
And a sound barrier here for LW Red is massive. It's absolutely massive. It's timed properly. Kongdoo are going to struggle to actually get their front-loaded damage off and have it stick. Now you can see, tentatively, they're making the way forward. It's the Blizzard. That's all they need. Nanohana had it ready to go. And this forces Panthera back. There's not much they can really do. We're in overtime as well. This could be the end of the line already for Kongdoo Panthera. Time ticks down. Butcher was on the point. Rascal forced off. There's a self-destruct there, but it doesn't catch anyone. It's purely to buy some time. Waka Waka desperately trying to dig his claws in, but he's hanging on the precipice. There's not much to be done. Even Rascal trying to emulate that as well. Both of them, but it's not going to be enough. Wall's going to come up. Rascal's super low. He dashes off for some health. We're still in overtime.
It's just Rascal. He's the only one here trying to buy enough time, but he falls, and Kongdoo Panthera, they won't make it back in time, and that is going to be LW Red coming in with a 3-0, taking out Kongdoo Panthera, and they will be moving on to play against Rogue tomorrow.
And that was the high-octane, the matchup that I guess we've been looking for over this series. It took quite some time for Kongdoo Panthera to wake up Achilles, but once they did, they gave us a very strong showing on that control point map. Ilios was definitely a final showdown in many ways, but for Kongdoo Panthera, it's been an unfortunate ride so far. To bow out of this tournament so early and obviously have issues outside of their control in terms of their captain not being present, it's always a tough one. But LW Red are looking good, they're looking flexible. We saw the May come out from Nanohana. They managed to actually be able to deal with the fact that they would have had to deal with Rascal the old-fashioned way without hooks, but they managed to do it very, very well. Sabiobi, I can see why it's a secret weapon for that team.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's got to be rough to go home this early. These teams very well may be clashing again just next week in that Apex League promotion tournament. So might be an opportunity for Kongdoo Panthera to get some revenge and maintain their spot in Apex. But for now, LW Red looking quite strong.
Yeah. a mix between the two rosters, but it seems to be gelling thus far, even without the absence of Pine. God knows what he's up to right now, but they are looking excellent as a result. The fact that we can see Nanohana and Saviobi play such a wide array of different heroes here, and even though I actually thought Kongdoo looked a bit more flexible in terms of their team composition, that's not always a good thing. It's not enough to be flexible, Achilles, if you can't actually get the job done on this wide array of picks. Sometimes it's better just to have one comp that you play better than anyone else. But Kongdoo bow out at this point, and we are going to see Luxury Watch Red move forward to take on Rogue tomorrow.
Yeah, so we have some really good games coming up tomorrow for the semi-final. Afrika Freaks Blue going to be going up against Lunatic High. That'll be a really interesting one to see. Again, Lunatic High likely going to be looking for some vengeance and make their way into the final that was taken away from them by Afrika Blue in the Apex League. And then LW Red versus our only remaining foreign team in Rogue. We saw Misfits, maybe a little bit rough around the edges with the new roster. Is Rogue going to be the same way? That's the question we really have to ask ourselves.
Yeah, and something interesting to look forward and to think about. Obviously, you know, a lot of teams can lose their identity when they have such massive changes, but Rogue has maintained their core players. You know, Soon and Unco played together back in Shoot Mania. In fact, they know each other very, very well. So well, in fact, that even on opposite teams, they still, you know, spend a lot of time together, a lot of chatting between the two of them here as well. So, I'm not going to lie. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
목표를 포착.